Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we are looking at Pokemon Shining Pearl. I didn't play Pokemon Pearl when it first came out, so I was kind of looking forward to this one. It's just kind of a little bit easier for me to play this instead of going back and getting all the stuff to play the original. Pokemon games always feel like kind of a starter RPG. Like, if you didn't want to jump right into some of the others, you could pick this up and get kind of the basics of what you need to do when you're playing a role playing game. They have usually a pretty good story. The combat is pretty simple, it's just rock, paper, scissors. And I really like the mechanic of, you catch more monsters and they kind of improve your party that way. So you can kind of tailor what you need to do for like the next gym or that sort of thing. And you just sort of adjust your party as you go along. It's kind of a fun way that they did it, and the collection mechanic is always kind of great. Uh, yeah, and then you can trade your monsters with other people as well. That was one thing that was kind of cool, especially back when I was in high school when Red and Blue first came out, and you'd have a friend who would buy one and you'd buy the other. It's the same game, but they have a few different monsters between them, and you can kind of fight back and forth, or you can trade your monsters, that sort of thing. I took a pretty big break from Pokemon after Red and Blue. Um, I played Yellow when that one came out, but it was really just like the first generation that I played, and then I kind of skipped a lot of the other ones. There might have been one or two that I played when I was in the Navy, but for the most part, I didn't really get that into them. It wasn't until Sword and Shield that I really started picking these back up and kind of realized what I liked and what I didn't like about the series. I'm glad that they basically have kept the same format and the same kind of simple gameplay throughout the entire series. There's a few adjustments to it, so if you have taken a long break like me and you haven't played these for a while, you can still pick them up and have a pretty good idea of what you need to do. The maps never really seem to be that confusing, and the game generally tells you where you need to go. It's just like every other RPG I've played. The game's going to tell you exactly what you need to do and where you need to go. And if you forget, you can always backtrack and just talk to everybody. So like every other Pokemon game for the most part, you get your starters, or in this case, you steal them, and everybody seems to be okay with that. Sure, I guess. And then you meet a professor who's too lazy to go out and do his job because he's gotten a little bit older. So he has a bunch of children who are completely unaccompanied by their parents, and he sends them out into the wild with a bunch of dangerous monsters to basically research Pokemon for him. That's essentially what the games all are. Sorry, I've really been... every time I play some of these games now, I think back to the dorkly clips of Pokemon Rusty, and I just keep imagining, yeah, that is exactly what they're doing in this game. You are an unaccompanied child who gets let loose on the world and has to face a whole bunch of stuff that you really shouldn't have to be dealing with. It should be the adults who are dealing with these things. I mean, there are police forces in some of these games, but apparently they just can't deal with, whatever variation of Team Rocket there is. In this case, you're fighting a group of people called Team Galactic while you're going around collecting all your gym badges, that sort of thing, so that you can become the best Pokemon trainer in the world. Or at least in this region. I do want to talk a little bit about the art style really quick. I don't really like this art style that much. I think it's just a bit too cute for me. I get that it's Pokemon, it's supposed to be this happy world and everything, and everything's supposed to kind of be adorable for the most part. There's not a whole lot of terrible things that happen in it. But this style just I don't know. There's something about it that I just don't really like that much. I think it looks fine for what it is, being a port of another game or a remake of another game. Well, not really a remake, more of like a remaster of another game. But this just, I don't know. In the battle scenes, it looks perfectly fine, but when you're just kind of wandering around on the world map, it just doesn't look that great to me. I mean, it looks okay, but it looks just too cute. If that makes any sense to anyone. I'm fine with it looking kind of adorable and that sort of thing, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. There's just something about this art style that I don't really like as much. Maybe it's because I played Sword and Shield and I kind of liked that one a lot more. I liked the way the people looked in that one. I thought they did a better job with it, especially on like the world map. And here it kind of looks like, I don't know, they look too much like cartoon characters when they're just wandering around on the world map. I don't know. I always kind of imagine them to look more like normal people. And you see that in the battle scenes, but yeah, the world map, they don't quite look right to me for some reason that I can't really put my finger on. That being said, so far this is a pretty fun game. I really would have liked playing this when it first came out, but now that I get a chance to play it, it's definitely something that I'm gonna enjoy for a while. Generally, I like Pokemon. I haven't really found anything in the main series that I don't like. Some of the side stuff I haven't really been a huge fan of, but whatever. That's pretty easy. You just skip those and go back to the mainline series. There's no reason to dwell on a game that you don't like that much. It's been a pretty easy game so far, and that's kind of what I would expect from a Pokemon game. It's going to be a little bit longer, or at least it's going to be a little bit longer than maybe playing an arcade game or something like that, mostly because it's a role-playing game. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it right now, just because it's Pokemon. It reminds me of being back in high school and playing these games with my friends and that sort of thing. I kind of like the 3 starters in this game as well. I wish they had carried those over to, or at least kept the same line when they carried them over to Sword and Shield. I went with the Penguin, mostly because it reminds me of Sir Nils. He's the mascot for some Norwegian brigade. He is an emperor penguin, I believe, and he is just awesome. So that's why I went with the little penguin guy in this one. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what memories you have of playing Pokemon, or if you hate Pokemon, just let me know about that as well. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and see you next time.